Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to be doing a review and full day wear test of the new Makeup by Mario Surrealskin Awakening Concealer. So before we get into it, I hope you will consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. Alright, so this is the new Makeup by Mario Surrealskin Awakening Concealer. This retails for $29 US or $40 Canadian. This is available in 22 shades. This is supposed to be a multi-use concealer that visibly lifts, blurs, and brightens your under eyes and complexion. Caffeine visibly depuffs, tightens, and smooths skin for an awakened look. This is supposed to have medium coverage, buildable formula, be crease-proof, and long-wearing with a self-setting formula that locks in with a natural skin-like finish. This is available now at Sephora, which is where I ordered it. The whole crease-proof claim, I really don't believe in that the most. I think every concealer will crease, but I will say there have been some concealers that I have tried recently that are a little less obvious about it, which I guess is what they're trying to say. So let's take a quick look at the packaging. So this is made in Canada and has a 24-month shelf life. I do love how it perfectly matches the foundation packaging. I will say the foundation is a glass jar. This one is plastic, but that really doesn't bother me. I should say I did pick up the shade 120, which I believe is fair with a more neutral undertone. So this is what it looks like, just kind of a basic doe foot, but it is quite flat. So looking at it this way, turning it sideways, it is a very flat paddle. So what I like to do with my concealer wear test is I will put this on both under eyes, but I will only powder one of them. And then I will wear it throughout the day. I will try to do a midday check-in, and then I will come back at the end of the night with my final thoughts. Let's get to putting this on the under eyes. Okay, the shade looks pretty good. I really don't do concealer anywhere else. On my face, sometimes I'll do it around my nose, but my foundation really did that today. I am wearing the Makeup by Mario foundation, which I also really, really love. I'm just blending this out with my BK Beauty A506. I would almost say this is more of a high, medium to full coverage. It does say it's supposed to be medium, but I'm getting quite a bit of coverage, definitely brightening. I think the shade was a perfect match. Feeling under my eyes. It is a bit tacky, so I don't know. While I do this eye, I will let that dry. I do think it's very brightening. Alright, so now that that is on, just looking at both under eyes, they both look very brightened. I would still say that this is a more high, medium to full coverage. Like, I got a lot of coverage, definitely very brightening. Definitely not crease proof. I'm already seeing one right there. So right away, that claim not fully true. I may have used too much, that's highly possible. But that is the amount that I would normally use for a concealer. I could have definitely used less. So I will say that could have been my fault for using a little bit too much. However, definitely not crease proof. Okay, I'm going to take my Dior Powder No Powder, and I'm just going to set this under eye, not this one. It doesn't feel particularly drying under the eyes. I do think it is a little bit of a thicker formula. I don't think it's too heavy feeling though. So let me pop off camera. I will finish up the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back to share some more thoughts and get the wear test started. Alright, so the rest of the makeup is on and I'm thinking it looks pretty good. I think the side where I didn't powder the concealer is definitely still feeling a little bit tacky, but it doesn't look too bad. It's not heavily creasing. This side did settle directly into lines initially. I've since powdered it and it looks pretty good. I still think it's a more high, medium to full coverage. I did get a lot of coverage out of this. On this side, I do think I used a little bit more. And as a result, it does look like a bit more coverage. So I do think this is also a buildable concealer. This side, I think I must have used a little bit less. It does still feel tacky to the touch, but overall it looks pretty good. Again, still giving a nice amount of coverage. Definitely very brightening, so I really like that as well. It doesn't feel too heavy or anything like that, but I am going to go about the rest of my day. It is currently about 10 a.m., so I'm going to try to wear this until 9 or 10 this evening. It is currently a very stormy, gloomy day, so I am going to go wash my makeup brushes, which is not going to be a good time, but it needs to be done. So I will go to that and I will see you guys in a little bit. Alright, so it is currently 2:20. So this makeup has been on for a little over 4 hours. It's still looking really, really nice on the under eyes. I will say this side is looking a little bit better. This side, my mascara did kind of flake a little bit. Again, it still feels a little bit tacky right there where I didn't set. This side feels fine. It still looks really nice. I still have a lot of coverage, still very brightening, still looks really good overall. So far we're having a really good concealer day, but I will see you guys in another 4 or 5 hours for the final check-in. Alright, so we are officially at the very end of the day. It is currently 9 o'clock, so that means this has been on for 11 hours. And overall, I'm thinking this was a really good day for my concealer. Looking at my under eyes, they don't look at all dry. I'm still holding on to a lot of coverage, which is great. The side that I powdered did fare a little bit better. I found that the side that I didn't powder stayed kind of sticky, so I don't really like that. I think that kind of refutes the self-setting claim a little bit, just because I really don't want sticky under eyes. But otherwise, I think this wore really well. It felt very lightweight. It stuck with me for a solid 11 hours. It gave me a good amount of coverage. It did all of that. I did want to quickly compare it to some of the other concealers I've been loving recently. So up top, I have a swatch of the Makeup by Mario. In the middle, I have the Makeup Forever. And then on the bottom, I have the Natasha Denona. So comparing the three, I've been raving about these bottom two for a little while now. The Makeup Forever is definitely the lightest coverage of the three. The Natasha Denona and the Makeup by Mario definitely afford the most amount of coverage. The Makeup by Mario is probably the thickest in consistency, whereas Natasha gives a similar level of coverage, but is definitely a little bit more on the liquidy, more radiant side. So that would be my comparison. The Makeup by Mario I think is going to be great on a different range of skin types. I will say you don't need much when you're using the Mario concealer, because a little bit went a long way on my under eyes and it gave me a ton of coverage. So I was really happy with that. The only thing I really didn't enjoy is that it was a little bit sticky, a little bit tacky. So I don't love that. But otherwise, I think it's great. I love the coverage level. I'm definitely going to continue playing with this one and testing it out and trying to figure out where it ranks in comparison with these two that I've been really, really loving. So I do think he did a great job with this concealer. I do think this is a bit more of a full glam concealer, but this is one that I would also be interested in trying kind of all over the face to see if I can get away with it that way. But I do think this is a little bit more of a full coverage makeup day kind of concealer, but it's beautiful. I think the shade is great on this one. I love the packaging. I did notice when I initially put it on that it did settle into lines pretty quickly, and it's supposed to be creaseless, so there is that. And then plus it was a little bit sticky if I didn't set it with powder. But aside from those things, I felt really good about this all day long. I liked the way my makeup looked. I liked the way it performed. It didn't look heavy, it didn't look dry, it didn't feel heavy, it didn't break up or do anything weird. It lasted all day long. So overall, I think we had a really great concealer day. My only caveat is that you definitely want to set this one, and if you don't like a full coverage concealer, I would probably steer away from this one. Otherwise, I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm definitely going to keep enjoying this one, playing with it, testing it out, and I will give you my final thoughts at the end of the month, but as of right now, I do think I recommend this. It's definitely been a very concealer heavy year. I know Tower 28's got one coming out, House Labs has one coming out. There's a lot of new concealers coming out, so I feel like it's kind of the year of concealer, that is for sure. Overall, another very successful concealer wear test. Let me know down below if you picked this one up. Are you going to? Are you thinking about it? Let me know if there's anything I didn't cover. Maybe I can answer your question in the comments. But that is it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!